Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Plus Money Podcast, your home for the best soccer bets in 15 minutes or less. The Champions League is in the books. We smashed it, but my favorite bet to win is the next one. It's time for Euro 2024, coming in a few weeks. I'm Andrew Passaro, and we've got a real triple threat on the show today. Ani Sridhar is with us. Nick Dianni is with us. You can follow both of them at Ani323 at Nick Dianni. You can follow his podcast at KicksPicks Pod, and you can follow us at the Plus Money Pod. You can follow me at Andrew Passaro. Gentlemen, you ready to start your engines today?
Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. All right, we are gonna whip through our best bets for Euro 2024. We will hit teams to win the tournament, team in the final, a dark horse, to advance from their group / win their group if we find profit there, and our golden boot winners. Those are our 5 categories because we're gonna try to keep this to 15 minutes today. So big one. Nick, do you want to open with your winner for the tournament?
It's a lot of pressure. Oh shit. Guys, I'm really finding it hard to back somebody that isn't France. I just think they're exceptionally well-rounded. They have the best striker in the competition. They've won international tournaments recently. Plus 340. It's not the greatest number. I find it really hard to look past them. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those situations where, if you guys know me, I like my future bets to be pretty thick and meaty, right? I like high 3 digits, low 4 digits, but really, really tough to look past France in this one for me. I do have a little more value bets, but I don't know if you want me to rile those off immediately or just kind of we'll go one by one.
Let's go one by one, and then we'll whip off other teams that we have up there because I also have 2. I'm right there with you. France at plus 380, and I want to point this out especially. You have to be an egotistical player to be the best player in the world, and I think Mbappe is that, and I think he has to look at this Champions League win for Real Madrid as if I want to win the Ballon d'Or, I have to go put up here at this tournament, and I think this is. It's either England or France that is the best team player for player at this tournament. I think both of them have some questions in defense, but this France team is too complete with a manager who's won in big moments and players who have won in big moments. And I'm right there with you. I think the fact that they're not the betting favorite is almost insulting to them. Ani, who do you like?
Yeah, so I'm going on the other side of the bracket, the tougher side, actually. I filled out my bracket. France has if they win the group, they have a pretty easy road to the semis, to be honest. And the hardest team they would face is England. So that's a great bet. But I think Germany's kind of going overlooked, but on paper, I think I'd put them right up there with France and England, to be quite honest with you. And at plus 430, they're the third favorites here. I'm going to take them to win it.
At home.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to say one thing real quick. Not because I really like Ani's pick, because I think this Germany team is going to do something special. Home team has not won the Euros in 40 years.
So you're saying they're due.
Yeah.
There we go. I love this attitude. Teams that I think that can get there, because my semifinal is my semifinal is Portugal, Germany. I have a Portugal at plus 700. The one concern to me is that they're probably going to be starting Pepe in defense, and he's 41 years old. But if you told me he was 4,000 years old, I'd also believe you. Tons of talent up front. It's going to come down to, are they going to do the right move and not start Cristiano Ronaldo because he's not going to track back on defense? But they have a great midfield, really good players on the, providing width in their defense, a solid keeper, solid forward options. So I really like Portugal. France and Portugal are the 2 teams that I have, which are coincidentally the 2 teams that were in the final in 2016. Nick, who else did you find value on that could win this
that's
tournament?
it. I actually saw them at plus 800. So definitely one thing to talk about with this tournament in particular, shop around. If you're in a state that has multiple sports books, lines are going to vary pretty widely. So plus 800 to me with a team that I think could have the best overall attack in this tournament. I definitely agree with you. Questions on D, questions at goalkeeper, but this seems to me like as good a tournament as any for Portugal to kind of get things going. And I think plus 800 is just too good of a number to pass up.
Ani?
I mean, no bias here, but the Netherlands at plus 1,800 are, I think, arguably a dark horse. They played France pretty tight in the Nations League because they were in the same group in that also. They are I would say in the group of death here in this tournament with France, Austria, and Poland. Four pretty good international teams, but this is another team that's just incredibly talented on paper. Most of their guys that made the team are had some of their career years probably like in their respective leagues. I mean, you've got Daniel Malen, who was fantastic at Dortmund, Xavi Simons, who was, I mean, put together another fantastic year. Frankie de Jong always plays better for the Netherlands than he does for his club team because I think Koeman kind of actually knows how to use him compared to the old Netherlands managers, maybe. But it's going to be a very strong back line with Van Dijk back in form, Mickey Van de Ven healthy, Nathan Ake healthy. We'll see if De Ligt is there and Jeremy Frimpong. So it's going to be a tough team to beat. If they somehow win the group over France, then they've got a pretty decent, like I said, whoever wins that group has a pretty easy ride to the semifinals, take on England. And then at that point, you never know. It could come down to a penalty shootout. And that's also another spot where the Netherlands have struggled in the past, goalie. But they've got Verbruggen in there now, who's had a pretty good year. And the backup from Brentford as well. Can't remember his name right now off the top of
Yeah,
my head. But
I'm blanking on his name, but yes, I'm also bullish on this Netherlands team. We will talk about them in a little bit later. So my final predictions, like I said, at France, Germany, or France, Portugal. You can get tickets. I hit a monster ticket in the World Cup a couple years ago because I had Argentina to beat France in the final. But France to beat Germany in the final plus 2,300. France to beat Portugal in the final plus 2,500. Nick, who do you think France beats in the final projected wise? I mean, I don't know. We're not using our high end algorithm here on this podcast, but you know what I mean.
And shame on me. I'm sorry. I don't know what side of the bracket they're facing, but could it be Germany, right? I think, did you say that?
Yeah,
Germany. Yeah.
Ani, you kind of sold me on them. I don't know. I feel like they're just a team that rallies, right? They're strong in just about every position. They may struggle for goals more so than some of the other teams, but they may not. They may surprise us. So I'm gonna try to throw an odd one out there: France over Germany.
Yeah.
Ani,
I actually, well, it's not a who's gonna play who. This is how if I'm gonna bet France, this is how I'm betting France. I've got France to win and Mbappe to hoist to go Golden Boot at plus 1,800.
Yeah,
And I think if they get to the finals and win it, Mbappe is gonna have something to say about it, as we saw in the World Cup. Like he's their PK taker, main goal scorer. So if they win it and Mbappe Golden Boot plus 1,800, that's what I'm right. I'm gonna take that instead of just betting France outright because I think they go hand in hand.
I do like that strategy a lot. All right, jumping to dark horses. You mentioned Netherlands plus 1,800. I think is incredible value on a team that's as deep as they are. My one knock is I don't love Ronald Koeman, but here's the thing. I don't know. Outside of like maybe Arnie Slot, I don't know which Dutch manager I do love that's alive and isn't Johan Cruyff. And Rijkaard, the old Barca manager, was good too. But the other one I want to talk about is Spain. Plus 650 isn't exactly dark horse price. There's youngsters on this team. Like they're gonna run Lamine Yamal into the ground. Them in Barcelona. They're gonna ruin this kid. But I love him. I love Nico Williams. Morata always shines really well for the national team. You got the best defensive midfielder in the game in Rodri. You've got some really nice defenders. Solid goalkeeping. No one amazing, but solid. Young, inexperienced manager in charge of Spain, but I do think that they could maybe catch some teams on surprise. And I'll probably put a Spain ticket in for the sole purpose of cashing out early. So maybe a Spain semifinal run or what have you is maybe a different way to ride them. But yes, Ani basically said everything about the Netherlands that I could say at this point. Any other dark horses we like?
Yeah. Hey, wait, just to close the loop. I'm sorry. France and Germany plus 1,200 for a final on those two teams. So
that's not bad.
Yeah.
On its own.
Just saying. So thanks, Ani. I'm with you. Man, if I'm taking a real stab at a dark horse, I kind of like Croatia plus 4,000. I just trying to find something where, plus what would you say? Plus 600, plus 700 for Spain. That's not necessarily moving the needle for me if I don't think they could win the tournament realistically. Belgium and Netherlands, they're in that plus 17, plus 1,800 range. I think those are very playable. but Croatia to me represents the peak of like value for a team that could actually make it to a final, has been in a final, has medaled in the tournament in the past 10, 15 years.
They're old is my concern.
Very, very. But
This
I've been
is
saying that for the last two tournaments, and yet somehow they're in third place, they're in fourth place, and I'm not going to count them out. I don't discount that they get out of the group, to be honest with you, with Italy and Spain.
I think they finished solidly second in that group because I mean, look, I just spent $200 on an Italy tracksuit because why not? But I don't think this is going to be a fun tournament for Italy. And I don't know. I agree with you. This Croatia team they'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get a penalty, get Luka Modric up there, do the thing. Ani and I have bonded greatly over the years of betting on Croatia. But no, I want it. I want them to go somewhere. I don't have them going far, unfortunately. I actually have my bracket in front of me, and I have them losing to Portugal in the first round of the knockout, which
and could totally see it. But any team beyond them, I don't think has a realistic shot of doing anything. So to me, that's like the final frontier of can we make something happen? It's Croatia.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you guys, like, at what point do we say, okay, this Croatia team's way too old? But you pretty much but like they're kind of on the same line as Denmark, right? They both have the same odds, plus 4,400. They got a lot of vets who could change the game, but just doesn't have that like it factor. But besides the Netherlands, the only other dark horse, I love Spain. I love Spain. I could see Spain beating Germany in that semi and then winning it all. I think whoever wins that semifinal is like they've got the momentum to like go ahead and like win the whole thing. But Belgium at plus 1,600 was a little bit interesting. I'm not gonna lie. The golden age is over. So like I think the pressure is finally lifted off this Belgian team, and they can just go out there and play. I mean, they'll have Kevin De Bruyne, they'll have Lukaku, both who are even at this age very well in form. So I don't know. They have a very easy group, so they should steamroll right through that, finishing first. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see which Belgium team we get. I think they didn't take Courtois.
They're not taking Courtois. They are not taking Courtois because of the stealing Kevin De Bruyne's girlfriend thing.
Yeah.
And
so that's just why. So that's
He'll be at the next one. He'll be at the next one when De Bruyne was openly talking today about how the guy's been playing at Manchester City for years, and he's like, yeah, I might go to Saudi Arabia and make more money in 2 years than I made in the last 15 years. It's like, brother, you were just at City. Like, how much money is too much money?
Quote, man. Respect to him for saying it. I mean, that's what we're all thinking.
They said in the 90s, cash rules everything around me, and clearly Kevin De Bruyne subscribes to that philosophy.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, they have a pretty easy run to the quarterfinals, which is where they'll probably play France. So I don't know, and with the expanded field, a lot of third place teams, the top 4 third place teams will get in. So like you said, Italy might not come in second, but they should still qualify for the round of 16. So like whenever the top team plays like, the 4th best of the group winners, it's still not going to be a cakewalk because you'll get teams like potentially Serbia, Italy, Switzerland that come out still, even if they don't finish top 2. So the round of 16 is really where the tournament starts. So
agree.
I totally agree. I didn't find a ton of value to advance from their group / win their group. But I did put a 4-leg chalk win their group parlay. And only one of these teams is not chalk, but Belgium, England, Germany, add in France gets you up to plus 369, which is, I think, playable for those 4 teams, which for France, outside of the match against the Netherlands, aren't even going to be close to a plus money on the money line in any of their matches. So I think if you're not going to invest heavily in the group stage with those teams, that's like a little future, at least to build something up. But did anybody have a team that they like to get through to the next stage where there was value?
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you in the same way that I think Ani made a great point, right? A lot of third place teams will make it out. So I think the lines were tough to advance. 2 interesting bets that are right on the edge of playable are team to win all their group games. And you can get Germany at plus 200 and Portugal at plus 300. I think those are okay. That's just kind of a different way I was trying to approach it, because you're not going to take Serbia, who, could finish third place in their group. They're like minus 170 to advance out of the group. Like, the lines didn't make sense, I guess, with this new format. So that's the way I kind of tried to approach this one.
Portugal did win all their qualifying games. They've been
they did. They're
rocking.
Red hot. They're actually
They've
red
been
hot. Yeah.
Rocking in Europe of late.
I'm definitely overlooking Portugal, but I don't know. There's something about them that just
every tournament.
I just think how they played in the last World Cup kind of has me.
I'll give you a reason to overlook him. I'll give you a reason to over. Besides Pepe, Roberto Martinez. Do you trust him?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't.
No. Yeah. I forgot he's there. Oh yeah. Oh, it makes me feel so much better now that I don't trust. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a complete fade. Absolutely.
Outside
that's a great pull.
Outside of England, France, and Germany, there is an easy, hey, this is why this team isn't going to win. Whether it's Spain with a young manager, whether it's the Netherlands, it's the manager, whether it's, again, Belgium, they're missing certain pieces, whatever. And even if you really want to dig deep on any of these teams, none of them are perfect, which I think is good. I think there is going to be someone was big that slips up big at this tournament.
Two ways I sort of bet the group. If you do the straight forecast, there is a little bit of value on. I like in Group A, Germany first, Hungary second to finish ahead of Switzerland. That's plus 340. And if you really like Croatia to finish second over Italy, Spain first, Croatia second, plus 430, which is pretty solid value.
I can get behind that.
I'll invest in that. You got me. He sold me. Golden boot time, fellas. A lot of big goal scorers. I mean, I think Mbappe and I'm sorry, not Holland.
Kane.
Mbappe and Kane are your two betting favorites. Enough so that I'm not touching them. The two that I like are juicy, plus 2,900 and plus 2,700. If we think Spain are going to go far, Morata plus 2,900. The dude does it every time he puts the jersey on. That's a really great number.
I love that one.
And Ani, I do agree with you that Mbappe Golden Boot France thing. I also don't hate Swan Song. Olivier Giroud, one last time. He didn't have an amazing year for Milan this year, but he didn't have a bad year. And every time that guy puts on the France shirt, he just slips back in to the player who scores in big moments in big tournaments. Is there a way where he scores 5 goals, Mbappe scores 4, they win the tournament? Like, he's just in the right place at the right time all the time.
Just sprinkle it on both then. Put a little bit on Mbappe to win Golden Boot with the France combo, and then put a little bit on just Giroud to win Golden Boot. That way you have
at plus 2,700. At plus 2,700, what do you have to lose? Because you don't. And I did look at there are on FanDuel every single team, their top goal scorer. Top Spain goal scorer, Morata plus 200. I don't see, even if they don't do well in the tournament, I don't see where that misses. Italy top goal scorer, Scamacca plus 700, or Cellini. It might be one. It might be 2 goals. It might be 2 goals.
No,
all you need.
It could be. Scamacca's hot as hell. So that's an insane prop.
And Netherlands, Cody Gakpo plus 430. My question is, where does he start? Where does he start for the Netherlands?
I mean, he's a dude that does it for the Netherlands, but I don't know about formations. I don't know about.
The problem with that is if Depay starts, then Gakpo won't take penalties. So when I bet this prop, I always look to see who's taking the penalties. I think the value there for the Netherlands, though, is Weghorst at plus 1,000, because he actually could start in this Koeman offense. He likes playing with this tall striker up top. So he could start with Malen on the right and Depay on the left. Gakpo might not start.
I agree.
I really don't think it's wild of me to say that, but I actually don't know if Gakpo draws a start here on this Dutch squad.
No Xavi Simons starting then either in that formation.
I think Simons would start right kind of behind Depay in a way, with Frankie de Jong on the right and a guy like Genie in the middle. So I think that's how Koeman will line this up.
All right, for Germany, and this is such a plus 600 Florian Wirtz, because here's my thing with Germany. This is a really well-balanced team. There is no alpha male striker, and I kind of think they're going to almost play almost similar to Alonso with attacking tens with Musiala, with Wirtz, and even the way that Kai Havertz is going to drop. Like Havertz is the huge betting favorite, but like I think there's just going to be a bunch of guys in attacking positions for Germany, and I don't think that you're going to see one guy run away with it, which is why I think again if Wirtz gets 4 goals for Germany, he'll win it. I don't know if I'm going to put that one in, but it's just a number. You guys, Golden Boots, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I like Mbappe and with Ani. Plus 500, I think is just awesome. I really didn't expect him to be that high. I think that's kind of a must bet. I weirdly like Cristiano just because, like I said, I believe in Portugal. Now I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen enough to know that, listen, they have so much attacking talent now that they've never had around him. Is he still the guy that's going to take every penalty? Is he still the guy that's going to play 90 minutes? I don't know, but like it's one of those. I joke all the time. I say, you get Real Madrid at plus money, you take it. Well, if you're offering me Ronaldo at plus 1,400 for Golden Boot, I don't care if he's 100. Like you just kind of have to take it. And I kind of like as a very, very, very weird long shot, Nicholas Fulkrug for Germany plus 4,000. I don't know that just because again, I'm trying to pick players on teams that I think are going to go very far, get those extra 2, 3, 4 games compared to somebody who's going to get bounced in the group stage. You brought up good points, Andrew. I don't know that he's going to be the main guy, but he had a really good year. I feel like he's been really hot as of late. Does he carry that form to this tournament?
Tony Cruz pinging corner balls to his gigantic forehead.
Yeah, that's highly possible. I mean, Tony Cruz is someone I had my eye on for most assists because you could bet that too. But one guy I do like Golden Boot that's outside the favorites. Mentioned it earlier, Belgium. I don't know why. Got a super easy group, and if Lukaku scores like 5 goals in the group stage, he might have the lead going into the knockout rounds, and he just might need 1 or 2 to kind of give him the edge there. And we've seen what he can do, and I don't know. It's at plus 1,600. It's worth a little sprinkle, I think, for sure. He doesn't take he won't take pens though. Unfortunately, it'll be KDB. So that's the only spot where it's like, can I trust it?
I like that philosophy though. Yeah, there's pieces on this Belgian team that I do like. Like Onana's good, Openda's good. There's some guys that are ready to break. Bakayoko is also good. There's guys on the team that are ready to break out. All right, I have one final prop. So this is kind of our free space if we were playing bingo. Lowest scoring team at plus 900, Poland, because they are also old as shit. Lewandowski can't run for shit, and I think they're going to get bounced in 3 games, and I think they could get shut out or score, only 1 goal in that situation.
I don't think they score against France or the Netherlands, and Austria will just park the bus because they know if they come in third, they'll probably go through.
Right. So
it's not bad.
I think both teams will park the bus in that Poland-Austria game. So it's like the
teams you got to worry about not scoring, I think, are Scotland, Albania, Poland, Slovenia, Romania. I think Romania and but that group isn't great. I'm sorry, Ukraine, Slovakia, and Romania are all suspect. One of those games will weirdly be like
Georgia.
Yes. I did see. I think you can get Kvara, top Georgian goal scorer, at plus 220. If you're,
has to be free money.
He's got to be the only goal scorer.
Right? Yeah, right. That's
he's taking penalties. He's taking free kicks. Yeah, that could
I couldn't tell you who Zivi Zivadze is. So
yeah, he did play well in their qualification.
Ooh, plus 1,300. No Georgia goal scorer. How about that?
That's a good one.
How about that?
Yeah, that's kind of my wild card. It's Poland 900 plus 900. I know they got here, but it's Zielinski and Lewandowski running at you.
Yeah, combined age of 73. Like
anything else? Anything else you guys like?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you in the thought process. I was thinking highest scoring team. You're going to see a theme here, but I think England's a decent shout at plus 350 for that bet. because they should be getting contributions from all over. And Portugal, same thing, plus 650. I mean, you got to take them one way or the other. If you don't believe that they're going to win the tournament, could they put in 3, 4, or 5 goals a game for 2 or 3 games? I think they could.
They've got a cakewalk of a group too, Portugal. Right. So
Exactly.
they just could pop off in that yeah.
Cristiano loves a stat pad.
No question.
This is true. I did take Spain to win the group at -110 and the Netherlands to make the semifinals at +270 as a couple props.
I like this, guys. I swear we didn't communicate on this. We had one England bet, so we didn't have to slander them. I didn't have to say that Gareth Southgate's going to screw it up, and this is the most talented group that England have ever had, and they're not going to win a tournament. I'm really proud of us. Thank you guys for reading my brainwaves from miles and miles away. I think they're going to at least go to the semis, but there's probably no money in that. I would love to see Trent do well. I would also love to see England go home early so that all the Liverpool players can go train. But that will wrap it up from us today. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back next week. Copa America preview. Nice one coming up there. You can follow us, or you can follow Nick at Nick Dianni. You can follow his podcast at Kicks Picks Pod. You can follow Ani at Ani 323, and you can follow the podcast at the Plus Money Pod. You can follow me at Andrew Passaro. Best of luck if you are betting the Euros and Copa. We'll be checking in from time to time. We haven't discussed how we're going to conquer that, but we'll definitely have picks every day on all the social handles. So make sure you're following. Have a good rest of your week. Catch you next time.